a hike in to Barclay Lake. This morning I'm heading up to Townsend Mountain, which is the one here in the Wild Sky Wilderness, not to be confused with Mount Townsend on the peninsula. And again, the first part is just this hike into Barkley Lake, which is a very popular trail. Great scenic spot to go if you want a really easy hike or a hike with kids. And then from there, work our way up to Eagle Lake and then up to the top of Townsend Mountain. So we'll see how it goes. It's supposed to be a little bit of a bushwhack from Barclay Lake up. So we'll see how that feels, but should be some good views up there of a lot of the neighboring peaks that we've done here in Wild Sky. Coming up to the bridge across Barkley Creek, and it's actually running. The last time I was here for Merchant, it was just dried up. A little prettier when it's got water. Not a bad view. That's why Barkley Lake's a really good hike for families, those that have limited mobility, don't want to do a long hike. You get such great views on a relatively flat and well-maintained trail. So looking up from Barkley Lake up to that beautiful north face of Bering, and we're going to continue along to the kind of the far east end of the lake, and then near where the toilet area is where you're supposed to start cutting uphill to head towards Eagle Lake. And as I'm starting up the hill, it's not a super discernible trail at this point. You can see a little bit here. Lots of blowdowns to just cross over, but we'll see how bad it gets. I will say that within, my first couple hundred feet, there is flagging. So another trip report said there will be flagging pretty much the whole way up to Eagle Lake, or at least until the flat saddle before the lake. And as you start up, another clue that you're on the right path. The sign might have seen better days, but Wild Sky Wilderness this way. Definitely some bigger blowdowns to work your way around. If you're small, you can probably squeeze under this big guy. I'm taking the high route here, but the trail runs right through here. Seems like you can usually see the trail, a little bit barer area. It's mostly just all these blowdowns that make it hard. And again, still flagging here along the trail. So many little pockets of different microclimates and different types of forest on this hike. It's very pretty. Just did a thicker section of slide alder, and a little boulder field. Back into some more evergreens. Pretty cool. This little guy is Stone Lake, and you can see up now, probably a little washed out with the bright light coming over, but Townsend's right in the middle up here, Townsend Mountain. So we're going to work left from here over to Eagle Lake, and then up to the ridge line and up to the top of Townsend. Very pretty area up here, and off the beaten path, so haven't seen another soul up here yet today. Definitely a worthy area to do for a little bit more moderate to harder hike. Alright, so here we've reached Eagle Lake, looking right across the lake to Merchant Peak, and then I'm going to be working around and making my way up that way to the top of the ridge, and then over to the summit, which is to the right. Just to kind of show, I'm going to start cutting away from the lake here where there's kind of a dried creek bed running up. Looks like we're going to have to go through some slide alder, and I'll probably bear a little bit left to get up onto the ridge. I just came through a little bend of slide alder to get to where I am here, but it looks like if you went just a little bit farther around the lake, you could get into this rock band. Still looks like going to hit some more slide alder up there. And down to the lake. I think we're nearly through the worst of the slide alder. Still kind of following a little creek drainage right now. And along the way there's been a lot of different pretty little wildflowers blooming. So it gives me an excuse to stop and take some pictures. Looking back down to the lake, got bearing, this sub peak of Merchant, and now you can see up to the summit of Merchant as well. Oh, I'm out of the slide alder. This was kind of a good spot to come. Take a little stop here on a ledge, and then I'm going to continue up. And from down below, I was looking straight up at this stuff, which is a bit steeper, but when you hit the bottom of this rock band, if you don't want to go way over there to the scree, which would take more bushwhacking, as you come up to the base of this, you actually come up to your climber's right to the east, and then looks like I can just keep working my way around the steepest stuff. None of this has been bad, like class 2 at the most, I would say. So don't be scared, you can do it. past the main rock bands, and now I'm just working myself along the side of the slope here. I'm actually following what kind of looked like a trail. I think it's either deer or maybe goat. You can kind of see in the shadow there a couple of the prints, so it'd be cool to see a mountain goat up here. I haven't seen one over here before. Well, I zigzagged my way up the face. Now I'm up to the ridge. You know, if I was on the north side of this mountain, I might have needed the ice axe and crampons that I brought. But as it is, the south side's all melted out, so I'm not gonna need those today. Now I'm just gonna follow the ridge, probably around a little more on this side, and then up to the top. Up here on a prominent spot on the ridge line, looks like we've got a little memorial. It's a pretty spot to have your memorial, looking out over the valley there. We go at the top. All right, here's our shots from the very summit. I gotta say, I didn't have a whole lot of expectation coming to Townsend Mountain, but by far surpassed any expectation I had. It's just a really beautiful area. Gives you a great view of the other peaks that, you know, might be a little more rugged here in Wild Sky, but for a hike and for views, this is a great spot. It's beautiful. So if you are willing to put in a little extra work and get off the beaten path, highly recommend this mountain. Very beautiful. Well, it's been beautiful. I signed the little summit register. There was just a couple pages in there, and unfortunately it was wet. I tried to dry it a little bit while I was up here. One more look down, and we're gonna work our way back out of here. Super pretty area. I just came across a baby deer sitting here. I hope it's okay. I hope there's not a mountain lion grabbing it or something. You okay, little guy? Oh my gosh. I don't know where the mom is, maybe in the thicket. I hope mom's around. I hope you're okay. I just don't want to mess with you. That is wild. Let's get out of here so we're not disturbing it more. back to Eagle Lake. Seeing a few little fish jumping over here. And straight across from us there is the old fisherman's cabin. Try to zoom in a little bit. I think I'll walk over and check that out right before I head down. Here, it's the old fisherman's cabin at Eagle Lake. Looks like they put a new roof on it. That's nice. Got a little spot for your fire. Sweet. Just have to come stay here sometime. This is cool. I was gonna say the other side of the lake, over where that rock is, I could tell there was kind of a shallow sandy area and it looked kind of flat, so that'd probably be a good place to camp too. I don't think the water's always has this stuff on top. It's like all the slide alder pollen was just going everywhere, so that's what all this is on the water. The water itself looks nice and clear. So little fish jumping around. Wouldn't be a bad view to have.